When's a good time to switch from beginners to a more advanced method? Today I'm going to try and answer that question, but first a question for you. What's the best time that you've got with the beginners method? Let me know. Hey YouTube, it's me Spotty. Welcome to another weekly Topicals. So before we begin, in the background we've got some full beginners method solves. So a daisy to cross, and then the one alg to insert the corners, edges, and so on and so forth. With this method, you should be able to get to around 130, no problems at all. Just make sure that you're comfortable and familiar with the steps that you've got to do, with the algs that you're using, and that you've got some basic finger tricks down in and throughout your solve. If you've got that down, then that should really help you get down to consistently averaging around a minute 30, which is a very fair time. If you're not averaging that yet, then I would recommend just keep practicing and waiting a little longer before you switch to a more complex or better method. And that's just because if you switch to a different method too early, then I think you'll just be confusing and you won't be able to grasp the concepts that you'll need to apply that method well, and it won't be as beneficial as if you just wait a little longer until you have a better understanding of the cube. But of course, everyone is different, so use your own judgment too, but that's just my recommendation. Once you think you're down with the beginner's method and you're ready to switch, there are a couple different pathways that you can head into. The three biggest methods are CFOP, also known as Frittich, and there's also RU and ZZ. Now, all three methods have their pros and cons, and they're all able to achieve really great times. There isn't really a best method to use, however, CFOP is the most common method that people move into, and that's because it's very similar to the beginner's method, so it's easy to transition into, and also it's just the most used and developed method. There are still world-class solvers in RU and ZZ, there are just more in CFOP, and there's just a lot more resource for CFOP. But with that said, I'm going to continue this video assuming that you're moving into CFOP because that's what I use and what I'm more familiar with. However, do your own research towards RU and ZZ, they're still really awesome methods and I don't think you should disregard them as, well, good methods. By the way, my previous video is on my top 5 best tips on improving on the beginner's method, so if you're interested in that, then I will leave a card in the top right hand corner, and after this video you can go check that out, only if you're interested though. Anyways, with the beginner's method right now, I'm able to average sub 40, and I'm sure with a little bit more practice you could get a little faster, but I'm going to tell you right now, don't get to that stage, at least not with full beginner's method. By 1 minute, you should have well and truly learnt, or maybe even realized that there are much better ways to solve the first layer of the cube, assuming you're using the daisy and one alg corner method. And then anywhere between 40 and 60 seconds would, in my opinion, also be a grand time to start learning some intuitive F2L. If you don't know, F2L stands for first two layers, and it's learning to, after the cross, insert a corner and edge at the same time. Learning this will really help your solves once you get it down. But again, don't try and learn this too early because you want to make sure that you have at least a decent understanding of the cube or of your current solving method first. So overall, I think that the best time to switch would be around 40 to 60 seconds, but it will vary from person to person. If you're sitting around there, then consider learning RU, ZZ, or CFOP. CFOP being the most common. And even if you're not ready to switch yet, you can keep learning new things to improve on your current method and eventually make the transition into your new method easier. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on this. Thank you guys for watching and I will catch you all soon.